depends on how you look at it. Because if you're Thornton,
Well, let me ask you what on the video that everybody saw.
I haven't seen that in a while.
But you remember what you watched.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think you've seen right there?
I think, my personal opinion, I think Thornton pushed his way in there a little harder than he should have. I think it was a blatant move on a driver, but you got to look at what they're going for, man. They're going for the win. That's racing. There's a million different ways to look at it.
Okay, so in your opinion, and I'll give you mine here in a minute, and Joel, you'll state yours.
I'd rather hear you guys' first, and then I can respond off of that.
No. You can't copy off of us, Warren. You got to come prepared.
Let me ask you.
I am unprepared.
When you saw the move that Hogue made in turn 2 to get under Thornton to make that pass, and I believe that was for second place, actually. It wasn't even for the lead. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what you saw Hogue do you think that Thornton's actions were justified?
Oh man, there's, you know what? I'm a huge fan of any kind of racing, and therefore, hard racing is hard racing. Sometimes, you got to put yourself in the driver's shoes. What would you do? You got a split second to think about it. It's just there's just so many different ways to look at it. I don't really begrudge anybody for any moves they made. I know there's a lot of controversy about it, but I look at it as good hard racing.
Okay,
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't want to. If I thought there was a reason to put somebody down and say, well, they shouldn't have done that, I might say that, but I don't know.
Right.
I just love racing, and I love good hard racing, and I think that just makes it more fun for everybody.
I love hardcore dirt track racing. There's nothing better in the world of racing than good hard racing, as you call it, on dirt. Okay, so what we saw was Hogue make a move just past the apex, out of turn 2, very rough racetrack, gets underneath the 20 JR of Thornton, right? And makes the move out of turn 2 down the backstretch, completes the pass. Down the backstretch into turn 3, Thornton comes in wide open, puts a bumper on Hogue, turns him around, drives through it. That's what I saw, okay? Do I think what Thornton did is justified? Not in any way, shape, or form, okay? This is why I don't think that there was enough contact or even anything that was blatant. Had it been blatant, and we know how Bobby Hogue races. Bobby Hogue's a class act in a race car.
Absolutely.
I don't think you're going to find anybody who's going to say, that guy's a jerk, he's dirty, did anything intentional. It was
about either one of them.
Right. Thornton can be aggressive. I think everybody can at some point. I think that what happened there was just Thornton was frustrated. Hogue made a move in a place where not many people were making a move like that at that spot of the racetrack, and he completed it. And I think Thornton was just a little upset about it. And the contact was so little. I don't think the actions were justified. I'm going to agree with Bobby Hogue. If you've seen his interview that was posted on IMCA TV and Facebook, I'm just going to say I agree with Bobby Hogue on this one, okay? And that's not saying I don't like Ricky Thornton. I do. We talked to him down there. He's a good guy. He's a great race car driver. We know that, but I'm gonna side with the 2 car in this one. Joel.
Wow. It has been a while since I've seen the video, and this was a big topic that came up, with all my friends and everybody from the dirt track. We're talking about what, the move that Thornton made on Hogue and everything else. It's one of those things that when it happened, I sat there and I looked at it and I go, at first glance, I went, what the heck was he thinking? He dumped Bobby.
Right.
And then you start looking at it. It's good, hard racing. Was there contact in 1 and 2? If it was minor.
Right.
Okay. Then you come down to 3, and on entry, Ricky stuck it in there.
Took him out.
It wasn't. He didn't put a bumper on him.
No, he drove through him.
No, let Joel give his opinion.
Straight up.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, but I'm agreeing. Yeah, he didn't put a bumper on him.
He did not put a bumper on him. He put a bumper, a nose, and a hood on it.
Right.
And he didn't just put it to his bumper. He put it into his left rear tire.
Right.
And up into his suspension. Now, was that how hard Ricky needed to drive it in there to get his car to rotate on entry? That's up for debate because I haven't seen the whole race. I can't sit there and analyze one lap and give you an honest, true analytical opinion of one lap. or even one corner or a backstretch in a corner. You can't do that. On the flip side, though, we've seen good hard racing, and I think Warren's right. Based on the video that you see, it's good hard racing. We saw this at Willamette Speedway. Sunday night of the Farmers Cup, Justin Katie and Colin Weinbarger coming out of 2. Colin made a move. They connected right on the exit of 2. Both very talented drivers. They made that connection, and they both drove away.
Okay, well, here on this Swears Trucking chat line, we have listener Tim Archer. Okay, Tim's a modified driver.
Absolutely.
And Tim says, I agree. Hogue could justify his action. Thornton, no excuse. I would like to know. We should put a poll up on Moxie Media Promotions about what they thought about that deal, the public, because you're going to get like Warren. Warren said, "Hey, it was just hard racing. I get it, and you're going to get that. You're going to get people that say, "Oh, Hogue's a jerk. He went in and took him out and bounced off him," which I didn't see that, but I've heard people say he got in and put a door on him, and I don't think that happened. I didn't see it.
I think this is going to go back to this is going to turn into the debate of dirt track racing that was the Logano-Kenseth incident in pavement racing.
That was blatant.
But that's how some people see this, too.
Right.
Well, that was blatant, but given the situation, I ain't going to lie to you. I don't like NASCAR, but when I watched that, I didn't disagree with it.
And again, we weren't at the track to see this either. We're seeing video from IMCA TV, and that's all we have to go by. And there's going to be opinions going both ways,
and that's what it is. That's what we're talking about. Opinions. There's not a wrong answer here.
Yeah, it's not like politics, So anybody that doesn't like what I just said, please don't unfriend me on Facebook. Oh my God.
But here's the thing, and race fans, you bring up a good point. Race fans, you can chime in on this. Hop on the Swears Trucking chat line, give us a shout, or give us a call on the Crocker's Cars call-in line.
Right.
503-862-DIRT. That's
3478. That's right. We want to hear from you.
Can they not go to the Moxie Media site as well?
They can. They can actually. They can email us. They can hit us up on Moxie. They can go to the Swears Trucking chat line right here on Spreaker.
Give us a shout. Let us know what you think, because you've got 3 idiots sitting here in the studio telling you what we saw.
Anybody that wants to voice their opinion, feel free to call in. We'd love to have you on the air.
Absolutely. So, I am of the opinion that I think that Thornton got a little upset, acted with emotion instead of keeping things cool, and I think he did the wrong thing. I'll leave it at that.
Now here's the next part, though. You start thinking, okay, if that was a weekly show, my bad.
There he goes again.
You start thinking, if it was a weekly show at Willamette Speedway, at Sunset Speedway, at Cottage Grove Speedway, what would have happened?
Well, there had been a fight afterwards.
Well, it depends on who the flagger was.
Oh, low blow. But no, seriously, you get a move like that, okay, it's going to draw a yellow. We don't have a one-and-done rule out here.
Right.
So what's going to happen?
Well, you give the guy that got taken out his spot back, and the guy that created the caution goes to the back of the pack. I will stick by that rule. I cannot stand the rule when 2 cars are wrecked. You can be the leader, and I can run second place on the last lap, take you out, and both of us are going to the back, and I did it intentional. Is that right for the leader to go back to the pack?
Not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Is
not.
it right for anybody that was taken out intentionally to go to the back of the pack?
No.
I'll disagree with
We've
that.
seen it. We've seen it happen. It happened this last season multiple times. Mm-hmm. I'm replaying about 4 incidents in my head.
Absolutely, we all can. And here's the thing about it, though: it's a rule. Okay, now if you're going to make that rule has to go to every single car on the racetrack.
Absolutely,
okay?
Every single class,
every class, every car, no matter what. It's a number on the door. Okay.
Still not right.
It's not right, and I don't care.
So I don't know why that rule's in place as it is. Why is that rule not?
I think
why is that a rule?
Well, here's why I think it is. I'll give my honest opinion on this too, and I'm going to make some people mad. Okay,
go for it.
But this is what we want to talk about. Opinions, we're allowed to have them. This is why I think this rule is in place. Number one, it gives the officials and the flagman an out. There is no accountability. There is no decision to be made. Both cars are taken out. Rule is you're both going to the back. Okay? Complete crap. Complete crap.
Yep, you're probably making people mad right now.
Well, and here's the
I'm
thing.
not talking bad about anybody.
I know what you're saying. I agree with you totally.
I think it's just it's an out for the racetrack and the officials.
It's a rule that needs to be looked at, and whoever makes the rules needs to maybe make an addendum to this one. It needs to be fixed. It's not fair to a guy that is out there racing his butt off and gets taken out by somebody that doesn't care because they have so damn much money they don't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
Right.
So here's the next part to this is that I misspoke. Cottage Grove does not have a rule
No
where
fault.
no
fault, no cause, or no cause, no.
no. If you get dumped, you get your spot back. They don't have that rule. Their rule is if you stop on the racetrack under yellow or are involved in a yellow by stopping, you go to the back. So let's say, for instance, the third place car and the fourth place car spin each other out. Well, you're the seventh place car, and you don't have anywhere to go. And instead of plowing right through them and threading the needle and keep rolling,
Spin the car and get your spot back.
you stop because you want to save your equipment. Guess what? Third, fourth, and seventh to the back of the field.
Stupid.
I don't
it's
agree with that
ridiculous.
rule
I don't either.
because
it doesn't make any sense.
at that point you're sitting there and you're saying, we don't care if you stop to it for a safety reason. We don't care. You're going to the back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's right.
Ridiculous.
My personal opinion, and I apologize if I
No,
offend
you
anyone.
don't apologize. It's your opinion. You're allowed to have that. And I think that I don't think you're going to find many people
that will argue it.
that will argue that. There are some. There are some that'll say, you know what? That's the rule. Go to the back. Okay, I get it. If that's the rule, that's the rule.
Yeah, the rules are the rules.
Is the rule right? No, because you're penalizing somebody who did the right thing.
Exactly. We can disagree with rules all day long. We're not going out there and we're saying this needs to be changed right now. What we're saying is we disagree with it. Here's why, and we would hope that someone would take notice of it.
Sure. It's something for any racetrack, any official, flagman, whatever, to look at. And it puts – now, does that put a lot on the flagman or the officials? Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Do those guys want that type of responsibility? I'll tell you right now, they don't, because it's going to make somebody mad.
Well, you look at
I'll do it.
Well, here. Okay. I know, Warren, I was ready to say. Okay, so remember the days, going back to Willamette Speedway when, let's go way back when we had the flag stand had, you remember the days with Bill and Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Bill and Tom?
Definitely.
Okay. So, and this is
I
something
actually
else.
worked with him out there for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
You were the
Couple
pit boss.
years.
Yeah.
Yep, I did the lineups.
So I think that, so let's go back and talk about this. Here's something else I strongly agree with. I think there should be two people in every flag box. One guy cannot watch the entire race and make a right call all the time. You can't.
No.
I think every flag stand should have a lead flagger and someone there spotting for him.
Well, have you been to Grove, to Cottage Grove, and you've been to Cottage Grove? Have you seen Rick Daniels when the sprint cars are going?
Have you seen Rick Daniels when there's anything on the racetrack? The guy looks like Richard Simmons, and I mean this in a good way, in a flag stand. The guy is all over the place. He's hopping. He's bouncing. I mean,
Dude, he doesn't stop moving.
You can have more fun watching him flag a race than actually watching a race that's got 5 or 6 cars in a feature that's not that exciting. He's bouncing around. I mean, he looks like Mike Singletary. Remember the linebacker for the
Yep.
Chicago Bears?
Yes.
He's like Mike Singletary with the flag in his hand. I mean,
The dude looks like he literally pounded about 8 Red Bulls,
Right.
And he's just having a
Right.
friggin' seizure.
well, but you mean that in a good way. I know what you're saying.
but he is a thorough flagman, though.
He is.
But I get scared for Rick every time he does that because I'm thinking with as fast as he's moving, hey, he's going to snap his own neck
Or fall out of the flag stand.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man,
It sounds like he's doing a great job.
He
does a good job.
he does a good job.
If you're going to be a flagger, you got to be able to. You got to be moving like that to see everything. I mean, you got to be looking back and
Your
forth.
head,
and,
yes.
Yeah, and be ready to grab the yellow or red, whatever you need. And
Flip the switches, away you go.
Right,
it's-
right.
I just don't think that one guy can and at any racetrack, at any level, whether it's go-karts, through the World of Outlaws, through NASCAR, it doesn't matter. There should be two people in that flag stand where there's communication between the two. One guy watches one part of the track, one guy watches the other part of the track. They make the call. Like in this case, if you had somebody watching that part of the track and they seen what Thornton did, give Bobby the spot back, send Thornton to the back.
Now with the one and done rule, at
Which
Vegas,
is absolutely stupid.
I agree, but in a race like that, to keep it moving, you have to do it.
I get it because they do it at the Bud Nationals. Well, not anymore. They did the year before.
Yep.
And it didn't work out, and they didn't do that this year, did they?
Nope.
No. The one and done actually upset a lot of people. When you've got that many cars, I mean, I understand why they do that because you are up against the clock with 230, 240 race cars in one spot. Cautions are going to happen. You got $7,000 on the line, whatever the case may be. And you got guys that are going to race hard. One and done, It's going to make everybody